All right, guys, we're back again. Good evening on a Monday night, hot as hell here in Philly. Tonight, I have a very special guest. We met at the fights over the weekend. So my guest tonight is Danny Zaccardi. He is a writer for PhillyBoxingHistory.com. Danny, thank you so much for joining tonight.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. And plus, it was a pleasure to meet you. And I know Saturday night we had a real treat with that writer Ken that just kept telling the same jokes and
Yeah,
just telling us
he's the
about
man. Can't miss him.
boxing and stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, so what we're doing tonight? So I'll probably have Danny on too, like in the future as well, to do boxing recaps, and we analyze like the different fights and all. But we'll also talk about Danny too and his passion for boxing, because he's a big fan as I am with boxing. And also, it was really cool to meet him over the weekend, that we share the same passion for boxing and all, for sure. So the first fight Friday night. So it was a 7-card bout. RDR Promotions had a very good card Friday and Saturday night. All the fights were competitive. Some upsets that we're very excited to talk about. And then we'll rate like our performance of the night. Also major upsets. I can't wait to talk about the major upset too, because that was an epic story. The whole thing behind it.
The legend.
Yes. So we'll start with fight one. That was Raekwon Butler versus Nazu. It was a 4-round welterweight matchup. Raekwon's from Brooklyn. He came in 2-0, 2 knockouts. Nazu, everybody knows because he's fought probably every single welterweight prospect in this city of brotherly love. 11-14, 9 knockouts from Silver Springs, Maryland. He is signed with Rodney Rice. So I'll start with you, Danny. So what was your analysis of this bout when you were watching it?
Well, definitely Nazoo, like you said, he's one of them veterans that's just like a hardened veteran out of Maryland. But at times he was landing some big blows and taunting the younger fighter, and definitely it was a step up in competition. But ultimately, Nazoo's annex and stuff, with the taunting and everything like that. He was, he ended up losing the bout, but I thought he had a really great performance. A lot of, we both kind of saw that in the second and third round. He was laying some shots on there, but, definitely a good performance from both fighters for sure.
Yes, I would definitely have to agree with you too. And then what I was saying to Raekwon post fight, because he was telling me, it could be the truth, it could be not, it could be a mixture of both. But what I found out was that his mouthpiece was like 3 days new. So like, but
That's
I was
right. Oh,
I
yeah,
was
that's right.
telling him to never, ever, ever go in with a fresh mouthpiece, because no matter who's watching, like it could be us, and we're covering and writing it, or we're doing a video analysis, or one of the ring judges, they don't know that you have a new mouthpiece. So like from our vantage point and our eye view, it shows, Nazu's hitting you hard in the mouth, and there's spit flying, your mouthpiece flies out. So his mouthpiece flew 3 times. So we thought in our eyes that those were some serious power punches, but he said no, like that was his mouthpiece coming out. But I feel like
Yeah,
that
I
was a
don't know, man.
lesson
They
learned.
look like some pretty tough, hard shots. I mean, we're not in
Right.
the ring. We don't know, but at the same time, the whole crowd could almost feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that I think it was the second or third round. He connected on like a hook that
Yes.
completely, like you said, the spit, everything was flying, and the zoo starts taunting them and everything like that, kind of getting the momentum of the fight.
Yeah.
Luckily, Raekwon was able to, recompose himself and finish it. End up getting the decision win. But definitely a great fight for both sides, I thought.
Yes. Yes. And then and then Nazu's that guy where like he knows that he's losing, so he'll wind up doing like his crazy antics, like holding and stuff. But like that's like typical, because the last 2 guys are the fighters that I know personally that fought him said about those antics. So that was all expected. But on my unofficial bout sheet scorecard, I did have it 3, you know, 3 rounds out of 4 were going the Butler, and then Nazu I gave the last round to, and I think you had the same, right?
Yeah, I was similar. I don't know off the top of my head. I think it was more. What was the official decision again? It was unanimous.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
unanimous
39,
decision, and it
36.
looked like it was like 39-36 overall. So even the judges were right with us too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds about accurate. I mean, I think Nizal, he's one of them veterans, so it's like you're never just gonna. I mean, Shenard Bunch was able to knock him out, but
Yeah.
he's one of them scrappy kind of guys. That's like you got to get past if you want to continue up the ladder a bit.
Right. And I feel like with Nazu's career, he's just that vet. So he's always going to get a phone call no matter who's coming up here in this city. So this isn't going to be the last time we see him. We'll probably see him 2 times in the fall, the winter, or we'll see him a few times like over and over again. He's just a guy that wants to fight. And I feel like he's at the point of his career, wins or losses. He just wants to get that work, you know?
For sure. Yeah, he's in there just to get some money and
Yeah.
fight these up and coming guys.
Right, exactly. All right, so we had fight two, really interesting fight. We saw the very talented Steven Galliano out of Brooklyn, New York, 7-0, 6 knockouts. He fought Marquise Hawthorne, came up from Waco, Texas, 8-14 with 2 knockouts. This was a 6-round junior welterweight, so they were fighting at 140. So, Danny, again, what was your analysis on Galliano seeing him fight for the first time?
Yeah, this is one of them fights where a guy's climbing up the ranks and he's fighting these guys, these 1-5 kind of guys. I think what was his name? Marquez, I think was 1-5. No, it was
Yeah.
Hawthorne. Marquise Hawthorne. Yeah, but Galliano looked sharp in there. It was a clear cut. We were sitting there both probably. I think we both agreed just a clear cut unanimous decision win. Each round,
Mhm.
Galliano looked sharp. Um, yeah, it was just one of them things where he's climbed the ladder and he's taking these guys, these fights. Pretty soon, I would say probably three or four more fights for him, and he'll be, a guy we could possibly hear about in the mid tier ranks. But yeah, it was a clear cut unanimous decision, I thought.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And even the notes that I was taking, and I'm just like, even like looking at my notes, like I still picture every fight. So like I do remember Galliano was very active early and throughout the whole entire fight. Like I had him win in the first 4 rounds. He worked the body. So he was just pure domination. I know he gave Hawthorne the 6th round because he knew he had it won, so he danced around. This was also a
Yeah.
unanimous decision. I think two of the judges scored it 60-54, and then one judge scored it 59-55.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so I do remember
No,
that.
Hawthorne, I think he was 8-14, not 1-5. That's my
Yes,
bad. I'm
yeah,
looking at
yeah,
my.
he was 8-14 with 2 knockouts. Yeah, so again, I really hope we get to see Steven Galliano soon in the future. He looked really, really sharp. So I hope maybe he comes back up, maybe a potential RDR card, or again, just like what you said, he's just a few fights away, maybe seeing him on a
Yeah,
Showbox
yeah,
or a Top
definitely a
Rank.
sharp welterweight. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely a sharp welterweight, up and coming kind of kid.
yeah, he looked really good. So the next one, fight three, was a 6-round super middleweight. This one was really funny because I do remember you saying that he had the body like Mike Tyson, and he actually did. It
Yeah,
was funny.
dude.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so he was from Jamaica. 15-2, 8 knockouts. It was Duchesne Crooks. He fought Bernard Thomas out of Kansas, Missouri. 6-10, 3 knockouts. Danny, what was your thought on that one?
Yeah, I really liked Crooks a lot. I mean, he like I was saying, he's like the Jamaican Mike Tyson, how he's built, just in a smaller frame, middleweight frame. But um, coming out, I thought he looked like his body and his physique looks like he's going to be a power puncher. Of course, the first 3 rounds, he's landing bombs on who was it, Thomas.
Yes.
But he actually showed a lot of finesse, boxing style, and then that southpaw stance, that southpaw style, where it looks like he's slugging in the first couple of rounds, but then showed some boxing in the later rounds. So I was pretty impressed with Crooks. Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, Crooks was a really nice surprise. So it was funny at first because like I do remember saying, yeah, I was like, man, like he's a southpaw, but he's like that typical southpaw where like he's very predictable. Then all of a sudden he just started throwing bombs, the body, the head, the jab. So like he's certainly very strong. It was a really nice surprise to see him and all. And then I was
Yeah,
kind of
one
surprised on
crazy.
the
Okay.
what's that?
No, I was gonna say one crazy thing is I'm looking at the record here. One judge scored it a draw,
Yeah,
57-57.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna get into with you. Yeah, so like from my vantage, I think you had it the same as mine, or maybe it was closer. I had it. What was it? Yeah, I only gave Thomas one round, and that was the fourth round. So I had Crooks winning five out of the six. So I was really surprised by that.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think I had Crooks all of them, but I could have had one to the other way. But I thought it was a
Yeah,
clear cut win for Crooks for sure. I mean, he kind of slowed down in the later rounds. I think he thought he just definitely had it in the bag. Um, Probably should have looked for the finish, but like I said, we're not in there, and he
right.
was landing bombs and he was controlling the whole fight. So I thought it was
Yeah.
for one judge to have it a draw. I thought was pretty insane, but
Yeah, that
that's the
was
that's the
yeah, that was very interesting. And I'm sure if we asked like some fan feedback, they'd feel the same as us too. That was very quite interesting to see that. Um
for sure.
yeah, so hopefully Crooks is another guy. Hopefully he makes it back around this area. He was very exciting to watch, and like fighters get better every fight. So I'm curious to see what that power's like in his next one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, 16-2 now. So you could see a little bit more of him.
Mhm. Yep.
That physique looks like he should have bomb power. I mean, he showed in the
Yeah.
first couple rounds for sure. Maybe he gassed out. Maybe he took his foot off the pedal because he was dominating. I don't know, but he looked for sure like he had that power, that tenacity.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with that. All right, fight four. This is my well, actually on this card I do have two upsets, but this one was massive.
This is
So
awesome.
yes, fight four. The ring announcer was hyping it as the Battle of the Ryans, which was really funny. So this one was a 4-round junior middleweight bout between Ryan Umberger out of Ben Salem. Everyone knows Ryan is a hardworking guy at his job, and then he's a professional boxer, so he's 4-0, 4 knockouts. And then Ryan Schwartzberg out of Dania, Florida, 0-1-1. So he took this fight. Everybody in the arena, I'm sure, thought that Ryan Umberger was going to win, but boy, were we in for a surprise. And you even did a nice little article on him too. So why don't you share your thoughts on that, Danny?
Yeah, man. So I include him. He was in on Philly Boxing History, John DeSanto's website. I write for him, and then we have a cover, a fight coverage story. So I made sure to include a good little bit on that. So yeah, we were shocked, right, coming into it. So initially he comes out to the Rocky theme, which we were both all ecstatic about. We're like, man, this guy better win if he's coming out to the Rocky theme. Second off, he doesn't have a robe, he doesn't have boxing trunks. We're confused about that, so we don't know what's going on there. And typically, like I always say when I go to fights with my friends, I'm like, man, if a guy comes out, without his own trunks, is like, he's looking to lose. He's here to lose, basically.
Right.
That wasn't the case for Schwartzberg, man. The guy's an absolute legend. Um, you know,
I think we lost your audio.
you able to hear me? This is my
Yeah,
connection.
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. But yeah, I think it was the first round. Schwartzberg caught him with like an overhand or I think it was a right hook, something that kind of staggered Umberger. And yeah, from that point on, he attacked in the second round. Was able to get him up on the ropes in the second round. Was just pounding away, where the ref had to stop the fight. He had no choice,
Right.
And but Umberger looked sensational. I thought. I mean, he came out, he clipped him, and he finished the job. Um, it sucks for the Ben Salem, Umberger hometown guy, but it was also a great performance from Schwartzberg, Rocky
Yes.
Schwartzberg. You know.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was a really nice surprise. So, like, like exactly what you're saying, and the fans that are going to view this know exactly what you're talking about. When you see a guy come out like with no trainer, comes out in like champion ball shorts or something like that, and
Yeah,
no
yeah,
robe and just like generic music, like
savage man.
yeah, and like you know that he's not going to like take this serious. He's just there to collect a couple. whether
Couple
it's
bucks.
$1,000 or like a few $100s, right? But no, he came to fight like the first round was like rock'em sock'em. It was incredible how they just came out like with no defense at all. They were just swinging and
Nah,
hitting each other. It was really exciting. And then, like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I would have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not making excuses for Ryan Umberger, but you could tell he was out of it. So I don't know if his equilibrium was a little messed up, but you could tell that he was like done. And then when the ref stopped it, I thought it was really good stoppage in the second round.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really good stoppage because I felt like Ryan was barely standing up, like the ropes were keeping him up. So I thought it was good stoppage.
That definitely. Even I looked into Schwartzberg's background a little bit. He's an MMA. He has some MMA fights. His Instagram features some, outside fights. So the man's ready to fight. And he came out swinging. I think Umberger thought it was going to be an easy night. Honestly, I think he came out and he's like, I'm just going to put him down.
Yeah.
And it turned into a slugfest where Schwartzberg called him, and then in the second round, they just unloaded on him. But yeah, Schwartzberg's definitely no slouch. I mean, he's willing to fight. Came all the way from Florida, supposedly lost his luggage.
Yeah.
On the way here, lost his shorts. But yeah, that was one of the most exciting fights, and that was awesome. He's a legend, but that was crazy. I think, and he even had like an MMA style of striking. Like he just
Yeah.
came.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like he
just
just
tell.
came in swinging. He didn't. There's no like pugilism. Moving and that shoulder rolling. He just came out to throw. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a real treat, and I really hope everyone enjoy. I mean, besides Umberger's family and
Yeah,
fans, but that was a
that's
really
tough.
good treat to see that, and plus it's awesome. And like for those that are like viewing this, definitely go follow Ryan Schwartzberg. His Instagram is
Yeah,
incredible. It's like literally like backyard fighting and stuff like
Jorge
the Kimbo
Masvidal type
Slice
stuff.
yeah, just like the Kimbo Slice
Yeah,
style and the Jorge Masvidal stuff. Like it is incredible. Like I really hope that he comes back too here to fight.
yeah, and it
um
sucks for Umberger too, like you said. Because he is a hometown guy, sharp
mhm,
fighter, and unfortunately he just got caught, which happens to everybody. You zig the wrong way, zag the wrong way, and he got caught.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, definitely, thoughts out to him. But it was a great fight, exciting fight, and both fighters too showed a lot of heart. Schwartzberg didn't say I'm just going to come in and lose to the guy. He came to fight, and Umberger, the ref pretty much had to pull Schwartzberg off him because Umberger
yeah,
never gave up. So it was a good fight in both ways. Umberger a lot of heart, and Schwartzberg coming to fight. So it was cool to see.
yeah. And like Ryan's still like young in his boxing career. Even though he's like a mid 30s, I believe he is. But hey, I mean, you could easily bounce back from this. I mean, all it is your first loss. Get a couple more, maybe one or two for the end of the year, and just start getting on a roll again. So I feel like Ryan
Exactly.
Umberger is going to be just fine. So fight number 5. This one was also considered my upset, even though Julian Smith was undefeated. But I feel like Derek Whitley, if there was a point spread here or like a spread at all, I felt like Derek Whitley would probably be the favor because of the
Yeah,
rankings
probably.
and all. Yep. So this one was a 6-round welterweight bout. Derek Whitley Jr. 6-1-1. No knockout, surprisingly. Springfield, Massachusetts, signed with Rodney Rice, RDR Promotions. He fought Julian Quiet Storm Smith out of Illinois, 4-0, 3 knockouts. Danny, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that was definitely not I can't really say a surprise because I mean what is Quiet Storm is undefeated. Now he's 5-0 with 4 knockouts. So
Yeah,
we knew he had some power, but Whitley is also a pretty well-known name, especially in this area. Even though he's from Massachusetts, he's a Philly kind of guy with
right.
RDR.
Yes.
So yeah, it was definitely it was cool to hear his backstory a little bit. Just that supposedly he's deaf and things like that. So that was pretty cool. To the cool nickname Quiet Storm. I mean, he came out guns blazing and put Whitley out. I mean, which was there's not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, he looked real sharp, and I think it was an overhand. Yeah, at 258 in the first round, it was stopped. So
Yeah.
it was a pretty vicious bout.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I really, really didn't see that knockout coming at all. I don't think anybody did. I thought that, we were going to be in for probably a 6 round fight. He just caught him, and it literally got him before the round was over. So that was definitely first round knockout. Whitley wasn't able to get up after 10, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say after a first round
Yeah,
knockout. It's
no,
just, you just wind up catching a guy, and you get your money and go home. There's
quiet
nothing
storm
much.
was the quiet storm was loud. You
Yeah,
know.
literally. Yeah, that was like a tsunami over the ring right there. But
Yeah,
also, for a positive for Derek Whitley, you're again another guy that's young. Yes, it's your second loss. You're gonna be fine. Trust me. I mean, you're still young in your boxing career as well. So I could see Whitley potentially, getting on a roll. He can win his next four, and then he's back in it. So
yeah.
Whitley's gonna be fine.
And with these guys, with the obviously it sucks to lose, but like Teddy Atlas always says, a mark of a great fighter, what it is to be a fighter in life and in boxing is like the ability to overcome. So
Right.
if you can, if he can, I'm not saying he can or can't. I'm sure he can, but uh, you can't take any losses and just make it rip you apart. You got to
Yeah.
overcome. So he's young enough where
Exactly.
he'll be fine. He's got a developed name now, and people know who he is, so he'll be fine. He just got to overcome.
Yes, exactly. All right, and then we're into the co-main. Now this one before the fight even happened, I was hearing from different media people around the area. They were saying that this could potentially be the fight of the night. This was a 4 round cruiserweight bout. Musin Kasim, 7-0, 4 knockouts. His brother is the former heavyweight champ Hasim Rahman. Um, and then he fought Tristan James from Iowa, big heavy hitter, 4-3-2 and 1 knockout. Um, well, I'll go first, and then I'll let you get your take on it. I thought Moosin looked fantastic. I mean, I think it was his first fight. I don't know. I can't remember. So like as crazy as it sounds, because I did interview him prior to the fight. I had him on the podcast, but I kind of want to say he didn't have a fight in 2020. Maybe he did, but I know there was a very long layoff. So I thought it was going to be closer, but he looked fantastic. He looked like he was active the whole time. Like I had him dominating the whole time, and that third round knockout, you felt that coming. So I thought Moosin did his thing, went to the body, just kept pounding him like Rocky versus Ivan Drago. Just just
Yeah.
just just keep like towering and hitting him. Yeah, that's like what it was like. Literally. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, same. Yeah, same thing. I thought he won every round. Dominant performance. A cool guy too, coming up, taking a nice picture with you after the fight. A
Yes.
real,
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
cool, real cool guy. Yeah, dominant performance. I think he needs to step up in competition now at this point. I think he's ready for sure.
Yeah, I mean that definitely was a good fight, to fight somebody like, of course I don't want to say like Tyson Fury size because Tyson Fury's one of a kind, but like it's like good sometimes to fight a really tall person and to
Hmm.
like, face that long jab, but he didn't show a long jab.
Nah.
Christian James, like Moosin was in pure control the whole entire time and he looked fantastic.
Yeah, and
So
he looks like he takes care of his body in shape.
yeah, and then I know it's not official, but I do check box rec, so I think we should see him back in September, hopefully, or maybe some point in the fall. So well, let's see what happens. I really hope we see him back in September because he's really exciting. He also brings the crowd too. Also, major shout out to his trainer, Coach Rel, who's doing great things in this city with all these young up and coming fighters. All right, so then we had the main event. There was a belt on the line, the NABA lightweight title. Nahir Pretty Boy Woo Albright, 12-1, 6 knockouts out of Sicklerville, New Jersey. And then we had Jeremy, his real name's Zero Hill, 15-1, 10 knockouts, came from New Orleans, Louisiana. Danny, what were your thoughts on this fight? Just watching it and all.
You able to hear me, man? My connection keeps going in and out.
Oh yes, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, he looked great. I think he's at what is he? I think he posted on his Instagram. He's at 15 now on BoxRec. So I mean, he's definitely moving up. I think out of all the fighters, I mean, it's too early to tell on a lot of them, but I think he's definitely a guy that could be one of them top tier fighters that we hear about in a year or two from now.
Hmm.
Looked really sharp. Yeah, I was really impressed with him, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I was very impressed too. Like I literally had him winning 7 of the 8 rounds. Like he
Yeah,
really wowed me. I mean, I was even telling people I was kind of nervous for him going in. Like he has gotten better every single fight I've seen him. And I only seen Jeremy fight against Stevie Ortiz on Showbox, and Stevie does get cute sometimes, so that's why maybe the fight was a little closer. So I thought maybe Wu would get some of them body shots that Stevie was getting, which is why Stevie was holding him the whole time. But Stevie did enough to win that fight, which gave Jeremy Hill his first loss. Total opposite. Wu had a game plan, and that was just to go at him, and he attacked him. You know, top body, top the whole time. So he really did his thing in there. He really wowed me. And I totally agreed with the unanimous decision and all. And I can't wait for his next fight. I'm personally thinking it could probably be Joseph Adorno. That's a name that I would really like for him to fight. I feel like he might be close with Stevie, so I don't think that would happen. Even though that would be nice, because Stevie's ranked like maybe one or two higher than him, so that would have been a good fight. But Joseph Adorno is a little bit lower, but that's a big name. If you
yeah.
knock off Joseph Adorno, you'll still move up the rankings. Who would you like to see him fight? Do you have anybody in mind with any of the guys right now in the top 15?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any specific names, but I think, you want to find a fine balance of not moving up too quickly and jumping up in the sharks too quickly, but
Right.
slowly, gaining momentum. But you also don't want to hang in these lower levels either, because
Yeah.
anything can happen in the ring and anything can happen. But I think he's poised right up there at the top. His technique, even how his Philly shell style of defense, he's constantly switching stances. Um, yeah, I think he looks really sharp. Yeah, I would say one or two more fights, and he's right in there. Everyone knows his name. So
Yeah.
yeah, it
And
looks real sharp, and the old school too, man. Coming out to the Sam Cooke and singing afterwards, that's badass. So
yeah.
yeah, man, it was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, he's a one fighter that I have really gotten friendly with, and just truly enjoy watching him fight. And also I can't wait for his next fight. And fingers crossed it's like Joseph Adorno or something. So like no one like of course like top 5 yet, but like I would love to see him fight either Joseph Adorno, maybe not Avery Sparrow, because I have no idea what Avery Sparrow is doing right now. Plus he's close with Rel, and I know his cousin trains with Rel, so I don't foresee maybe any of Rel's fighters fighting Whoop. So that's why Joseph Adorno really sticks in my head right now. But again, I'm sure Rodney and his team have a plan, so I can't wait to see when Wu's in there next. But I'll be shocked if he's on another club show. I feel like it's going to be a top rank card or a PBC or maybe a DAZN one. Then the next
Got to
time we
be.
see Wu, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it. All right, so if we had to do like UFC style, what is your who are your performances of the night? If you have just one, that's fine, or if you have a couple, just let me know.
All right. So performance of the night. Um, hmm. I mean, Albright won every single round. I mean, as much as I mean, I could do other things. I mean, we'll say performance of the night, Albright. Um, Knockout of the night has to go to, I mean, well, Quiet Storm, Kaysen. Um, yeah, I mean, what specific awards do you have like a list of the awards
All
we can
right,
give?
so we could do knockout of the night, we could do
Okay.
performance of the night, and we could do upset.
Okay. So upset, you already know is going to my boy Ryan Schwartzberg.
Yes.
Definitely that. He would be getting, if I'm Dana White, he's getting some money. He's getting the bonus money. Um, Performance of the night, even though it was a decision, I still give it to Albright. I mean, just a
Okay.
dominant performance. I thought I had him win every single round against Hill, so I thought that was impressive. And then knockout of the night, I would give it to. I mean, Kaysen had a nice knockout. Obviously, that walk off one punch
Yeah.
knockout. So that's tough between him and Quiet Storm Smith. I mean, but just with the ferociousness, even though it was, I would have to give it to Kaysen, I think, because of that one punch, just stare down knockout. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know.
I would. It was just vicious. I mean, like I said, Storm's first rounder, so that was nice. But Kaysen's was vicious. Hockey, it's Rockman style. So
Right. Yes. Yeah. I know. Like he literally had the same stare down of when he knocked down Lennox
Lennox,
Lewis to win it. You
yeah,
know. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's very similar to yours. It's very tough because we could have like one or two people, but if we had to go one, performance of the night's definitely Woo. Really wowed me with that performance. He looked like the perfect fighter on Friday night. And then yeah, so performance of the night was Woo. Knockout of the night, I'm leaning towards Julian Quiet Storm,
okay,
Smith.
yeah.
Even though I think Moosin had a hell of a knockout, but getting a knockout before that round's over, that's really impressive. So,
It's tough,
and
especially
like
against Whitley.
yeah, against a highly talented Derek Whitley, to like send him home, like man, that is unbelievable. And then definitely the biggest upset has to be our guy Schwartzberg. Like, just
Schwartzy.
showing up in probably black champion pants or maybe the off-brand champion shorts. Just going and handling your business. That was incredible. Yeah.
He's all hands, dude. He's ready to go. You know.
I love it. It's so funny. All right. Would you want to do Saturday night
Yeah,
next?
yeah. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So
How is this is the connection? Do I think I should switch to my phone or is this doing all right?
this is doing good. So like you go out for like maybe like 30-40 seconds, but then you come back. So like it's actually not too bad. Oh, I say that now and the volume's gone and the audio's gone. Are you able to hear me? Uh-oh.
Yeah, you there?
Yep.
All right. What do you think's better? I could if I do it on my phone, would you be able to connect the two or no?
Yeah. So I could keep this up, and then when you connect through your email, you'll be fine.
Okay. All
All
right. Let
right.
me see.
So if you want to tap out, and then when you log back in, I'm able to hit you in.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Alrighty. All right, so we're gonna gear up for part two, which was covering Saturday night. We're just waiting for Danny to reconnect. So again, Friday night was a great card. Major shout out to Pretty Boy Woo for winning his first belt. Can't wait for his next one. It's probably going to be on television. His next one for sure. Saturday night, just to give you a heads up, it was a eight bout fight. Main event was Mark Dawson versus Ivan Panzik. So we'll get into that, and then we're going to get into the undercard a little bit too. There were some really good competitive fights in there, so we will get into that, and then also we'll talk about Rasheen Brown, who was a really good prospect. Can't wait to see his next one as well. So we'll connect Danny in shortly. 1 second. All right. Uh, it looks like you're on mute. Just hit that red button.
Yo, can you
All
hear me?
right, cool, perfect. Yes. All right. So Saturday night, was a 8 bout card. RDR promotions again. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So the first fight of the night was a 4 round light heavyweight bout. It was David Stevens from Reading, PA, 5-0, 4 knockouts versus Montreal James, who was 1-5 from St. Louis, Missouri. This was a very lopsided fight. Reading has really good fighters that are up and coming. They also have Eric Spring, who's a hell of a fighter out of Reading and all. I actually gave Stevens all 4 rounds. He was very active from start to finish. So I thought he was really good. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, same.
Oh, I can't hear you. I think the audio messed up.
Ex Montreal James' opponent. You like to see him get a stoppage, but at the same time, he might want some rounds. So
Right.
uh, might just want some rounds to go and get used to going the.
We're having connection issues. You there?
Yeah, hold on one second. Can you text me the link, bro? I'll just get it on my phone. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't want to ruin your stream.
I know it's fine. So I will end this, and then maybe a fresh one will work.
Okay, yeah. Shoot me a text with it so I can open up on my text.
All right, I got you.
All right, sweet.
Alrighty. Hold on. I'll shoot you a text of it now. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, I sent it, so it should work for you.
Yeah, I got it. It's loading in.
You got it?
Yeah, hold on one sec. Yeah, sorry about this, bro.
I know it's all good.
Yeah, I never did one of these Zooms before.
I know it's okay. It's the first time for everything.
All right.
Yes. So what I was okay. I got you. I'm
Is
gonna
that
I'm gonna
better?
admit you now. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, sweet. Should I leave this one on my computer?
Um. Yeah, you could leave it, and then we could talk on the phone one. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. Awesome. All right. Cool. So what I was saying before, so David Stevens literally was in control the whole time, very active from start to finish. So I totally agree with unanimous decision, 40-36. And again, Reading, even though people think of Reading, the railroad, Reading fighting Phillies, but they do have like really good fighters. Plus Marshall Kaufman, had his son Travis fight out of there. I think they lived there a little bit before they moved to Texas and all. But yeah, I mean, Redding has some good fighters there, so it wasn't surprising that David Stevens did his thing. And what were your thoughts on that, Danny, for the first fight?
Yeah, I think clear cut unanimous decision. What is Stevens? I think Stevens is 6-0 now with 4 KOs.
Yeah,
I would like to see him stop, Montreal James at 1-6, but early on in his career he could have won some rounds. So I mean, he looked sharp. He dominated. Yeah, clear cut win for Stevens, I thought.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there wasn't much to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just absolute pure domination. The second bout that was supposed to happen, unfortunately, everybody was excited to see Paul Kuhn back in there, a South Philly heavyweight, 4-0, one knockout. Even Joey the Tank DeWaco
yeah,
texted me and was saying that he was looking forward to seeing him fight. So unfortunately, we didn't see him fight. So yeah, but hey, maybe Paul will get on one of these RDR cards coming up. So, but yeah, I mean, hey, it happened. So the second bout that happened was I can't really tell who the crowd was for. It was really interesting. So
yeah, for
you
sure.
had so you had Dafir Smith, 28, 25, and 7 draws, a pure heavyweight. I mean, a lot of rounds and stuff, and like
Yeah,
just a vet from Upper Darby, PA. And then he fought Joe Jones, who's 11-4, 8 knockouts from Jersey City. So what were your thoughts on that one?
yeah. As soon as Dafir walked in, I think they announced him as a hometown guy. Yeah, Matt. I mean, almost 60 fights. Definitely one of them grizzly kind of veteran type guys. Jones made good work of him though. Well, I think it was a right, sharp right in the second that put him down, and I think he had him down in the first round as well. So that's pretty good accomplishment from Jones, who he's taking on a guy now. He's stepping up in competition in Smith, where he's seen probably everything. I think they even said before Dafir got into the ring, the level of competition that he's fought, that he's been in the ring with. So
Yeah,
it was definitely a veteran, definitely a hometown kind of guy. But yeah, Jones looked smooth. I think they stopped. Yeah, 18 seconds in the third round, they stopped the fight. So
yeah. And some of us that were at the Joey DeWaco Joe Jones fight, we didn't really see Joe do anything. Joey was in pure domination, got him out of there in the first round. But so it kind of was nice to see Joe fight and at his like weight class, because I know Joe. I don't even know if Joe even put the weight on to fight him. I could have swore he was under 220 fighting Joey. I could have. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he was under 220 pounds for that fight. But again, it was cool to see him fight at the cruiserweight, and to see his power and stuff, because he didn't even. I don't even think he maybe landed a couple punches on Joey, but he totally kicked his ass. Like there
yeah,
wasn't any competition. Yeah, so a major shout out to Joe for coming in and doing his thing. So he looked phenomenal.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So
Waco, I
bout
mean, Waco kicked, supposedly knocked out Joshua in sparring. So you know,
allegedly,
yeah,
yeah. He won't say anything, but it's awfully funny that Joshua's camp, came out with the story,
yeah,
so you just don't know what to believe. So, but Joey's the type of guy that won't say it. So, yeah, I feel like he'll take that to his grave. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, by his but by not saying anything, I mean that's the code of fighters to not say anything. But I know, I'm skeptical. I bet he did. I bet he wobbled him a bit.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never asked him off the record, because like I like respect that. So, but
Yeah,
if he wants to ever say it, hopefully I'm one of the first ones to hear it. But yeah, I don't know, and I don't think I'll ever ask him. So
yeah, that's probably good.
yeah. So fight three, was Edgar Cortez, journeyman, meaning record wise, 8-6-1, one knockout. From Millville, New Jersey. And then he fought a very, very tough fighter, Roberto Puchetta, 10-18-2 with 6 knockouts from Mexico. What were your thoughts on that fight, Danny?
If I had to say one of the most questionable decisions of the fight of the nights, I think it would be this one. Cortez looked sharp in there. I mean, I think he wins the award for largest crowd.
Yeah.
Selling the most tickets. I mean, he had a whole section of Cortez family and friends and to come and support. I think he looks sharp. I don't know if he was active enough. I think Puchetta was the one that was kind of forcing the action and walking. Puchetta has that traditional Mexican brawler like style of fighting, which I like, and even I think what was that the official scorecard was
58-56, right?
And every source that I'm reading are all just reporting that, but they're not really talking about Puchetta's performance, which I thought was really great. Walking in, taking punches, forcing the action, leading the dance. It seems like Cortez did a lot of moving and jabbing and moving and just trying to avoid Puchetta. When a lot of people say, ring craftsmanship, ring generalship, I look at it more as who's controlling the fight. And I thought Puchetta, I thought this was a bad decision. I thought Puchetta had it, but all the other sources seem to think that, that Cortez did enough to win. But, it was a close fight regardless, either way.
Yeah, I actually had it as a draw on my end, but then again, you could have gave Puchetta one of those rounds that I had like question marks on. Like the second and the fifth round were really, really close. But I had it as a draw on my unofficial one. I thought both of them fought great. But yeah, I thought maybe it would have been a draw. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But hey, I mean, like if other boxing people are viewing it, as a Cortez win, then more power to them.
Yeah, it was really the brawler versus the boxer. Cortez is the shifty boxer with the jab and movement, great head movement, slick. Whereas Puchetta was just walking forward, and we both know the judges are never going to give 11-16. They're not going to give 10-19 now, 10-19-2. Puchetta, they're not going to give a decision win to that kind of, to that record. So, I feel for him. I thought he had it, but either way, it was close. And either way, Cortez did look smooth at points. So it's just really how you view the fight. You know what I mean? How you score it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, hey, it's over with, and Cortez got the victory. I don't think anyone's going to be fighting for a 10-18 guy to see if he got robbed or not.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So bout 4 was a 6-round featherweight. This prospect I'm very highly on. He's a very humble kid. Fights out of James Schuler's gym in West Philly, where J. Rock Williams and Scooter Stephen Fulton Jr. came out of. Rasheem Brown, 9-0, 6 knockouts out of West Philly. Fought Prisco Marquez, 4-3, 1 draw, 1 knockout from Austin, Texas. Danny, what were your thoughts on Rasheem Brown's performance?
Yeah, he could have been prospect of the weekend. I think we were both sitting there saying that he looked, really smooth, really slick. 10-0 now with 6 knockouts. Yeah, he could be one of the best prospects right now coming out of our area for sure. Yeah, just absolutely dominated. I thought he won every round, and he put him down too. He went the distance. But yeah, he had him on the canvas. Yeah, he looked.
I think twice, right? Yeah, twice. I think he had him down. Yeah.
In the first round with a body shot at the very end of the first round. Yeah, and I think the judge scored a slip or something. But yeah, he looked really, really, really sharp. I think he definitely got a future for sure.
Yeah, he's like an old school Philly fighter. Like he has that West Philly style where the fighter goes to the body. So I'm always wowed whenever he fights. So I truly hope that we see him locally in the fall again, maybe September, October. But yeah, I'm really excited. I get excited when I see Rasheem Brown's on a card. This is like my third or fourth time seeing him fight, and he doesn't disappoint. He looks good every time.
No, he looks super sharp. Yeah, super sharp.
Super sharp. All right. So the fifth bout was the pro debut. It was a 4 round super featherweight bout. It was Jabril Noble. Shout out to Greg Hackett, which is his trainer. Um, so Jabril's out of our city, Philly. He fought. I'm probably gonna butcher this name. Dave DiGero Ravello. 0-1 with from Colorado. What were your thoughts on Jabril's second round knockout?
Yeah, he looked sharp. He looked I know I'm kind of I don't take back what I said. Rasheem is a fire prospect, but I think Noble is as well. He looked fantastic. I would say yeah, him and Rasheem definitely both are prospects definitely to watch for sure. Yeah, lightning quick, good movement. The ability to use both hands. I mean, he looks poised. Beyond his years. I don't know much about Ravello. I think this is his pro debut as well. But I think 112 of round two, he controlled throughout. He looked pretty dominant.
Yeah, Noble looked great. He jumped from the gun. Didn't look like a fighter that had like usually when you see a guy make a pro debut, it takes him a couple hits to take in order to feel comfortable. But he came out swinging from the get go, body, head, body, and he looked great and got him out of there in the second round. So
Yeah, and you wonder how many local fights even for him with Greg Hackett being his trainer. Sure, he'll get a couple and move up pretty soon. I mean,
yeah.
he looked pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and then again, BoxRec's unofficial because that changes once in a while, but he's also another guy I believe we're going to see in September. I saw on BoxRec, so that would be cool to look forward to see Jabril fight a second fight here in the city. But of course, nothing's official until the promoter actually comes out and says it, or if you see a flyer or anything. So
Yeah,
as of now, he's tentative to fight in September. All right, so we'll get into the co-main, which was weird, which was a weird outcome. Eight round super middleweight bout. It was Sean Hemphill, who's probably heavily favored for the gamblers. He probably would have been huge on the spread. 12-0, 7 knockouts from New Orleans, Louisiana. He fought Robert Burwell. Nine and
Burrow.
yeah, 9-4, 3 knockouts from Orlando, Florida. I'll go first on this one. So this was a little weird. So of course, Hemphill will, of course, say that he won, because he wound up getting that 7th round stoppage when Burwell's corner waved the tail. But it was awfully weird because, I gave Hemphill the first round and then Burwell from round 2 to round 6. I mean, it had nothing to do with it was just like he was just in control. It was kind of like Hemphill was having that Deontay Wilder game plan where it's okay, I'm gonna prove everybody I could hit him with one shot to change everything. But yeah, I mean Burwell was in control. I mean, he was getting banged up he was getting banged up in the 7th round, but even if Hemphill won the 7th or 8th round, Burwell won the last 5 rounds, which was round 2 to round 6. So it was weird, this stoppage. It was like he wasn't that banged up, unless maybe we didn't see something. But from our vantage point, I thought I had no idea why the corner stopped it, and it seemed like Burwell was a little disappointed. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%, man. I think we were both sitting there, both confused, and I agree 100%. This is just a conspiracy theory, but I think that maybe the fight was going a little bit too longer than it should, and they needed to get the main event.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought Burwell. I had Hemphill win in the first round, and it was a slow round. I could have flipped a coin and gave it to Burwell. But yeah, it could go on either way. Second, third, like you said, Hemphill is just being stagnant, not really throwing anything. Looking like he's just waiting for Burwell to fall down by a
Yeah.
breath of and Burwell wasn't going down, and I thought I had him winning those rounds as well. With the stoppage, he got him with just like a Leonard style body flurry, and then all of a sudden Burwell got out of it on the opposite side of the ring, squaring up, and his referee throws in the towel. So definitely something going on there. I don't know, but it was definitely a BS kind of a TKO stoppage. But like you said, we're not in there. We don't know. Maybe something did happen,
Yeah,
but
again,
I
I don't know. Yeah, it was just weird because from our vantage point, it looked like he was fine. I mean, yeah, he was taking a few shots in that seventh round, but like didn't look like he was stumbling and still had his legs on him. So maybe his face, or maybe they didn't like the way he was looking after a shot. I don't know, but it was awfully weird. I feel like they should just let the referee stop it because like I didn't think he was in that much trouble. And like even in my notes, like like I have like in the sixth round, Burwell landed two massive headshots on Hemphill, and then like round five, there wasn't a lot of activity, but Burwell was maintaining the points and the and just everything. Yeah, so again, it doesn't look pretty. So like when you're there, it doesn't look pretty, but when someone's on BoxRec, they weren't there, so
exactly.
it just shows that Hemphill's 13-0 now. So yeah. So at the end of the day, it's just one of those where like, okay, there's certainly not gonna be no rematch.
For the for now on, if you see a fight that's questionable, we just call it a Burwell. That's a Burwell. That's freaking Burwell. Uh,
Yeah.
9-5 guy comes in and he's not supposed to win. They're not gonna, a 13-0 guy's coming. Where's he coming from?
He's coming from Florida.
Yeah, from Florida. I mean, he's not coming to Philly and doing all that to lose to some 9-5 guy. So when he was in trouble, I don't know, conspiracy theory, I don't know, but I don't think Burwell was allowed to win that fight. But it is what it is.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So the main event was a 8-round welterweight bout. Mark Dawson, highly talented, undefeated fighter out of West Philly, fought Ivan Panzik, another undefeated fighter, 13-0, one draw, 8 knockouts from Rancho Cucamonga, California. So I'll go first on this one, the main event. I literally gave Mark all 8 rounds. Ivan, I don't know who he was fighting, but it certainly was not anybody on Mark Dawson's level because if somebody told me, if I didn't have a bout sheet or I wasn't covering the fight and somebody told me that Ivan's undefeated, I would have said, in what? In beer pong? Like what was he undefeated in? Because he didn't look like an undefeated fighter. I mean, maybe Mark's that good where he's very swifty and could hide punches and stuff, but yeah, Mark looked phenomenal. All 8 rounds. I can't literally complain or say anything wrong. Like he looked great, and yeah, he looks great. 9-0 now, and I'm sure Rodney's going to be looking for a big fight for him, whether it's here or on PBC. But what is your thoughts on that eight round bout with Mark and Ivan?
Yeah, Mark's one of my favorite fighters for sure. It really southpaw, but he's able to switch stances really effectively. Yeah, all 8 rounds I had going to Dawson, and Dawson's he has a tricky style for fighters to figure out because they don't know what stance he is. He comes in, seems equally strong with both, uses both hands effectively, and he sets up his shots. Um, only criticism I think when we were sitting there, I was saying that Panzik has a tendency to drop his hands, and it was like it seemed like every time that he threw a punch, he would come down and grab like grab it in his shorts. So I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, Dawson took care of business in the end, and he ended up. I had him winning all 8 rounds, looking sharp. Yeah, I mean, Panzik was a little shifty, 6'4", and I was curious to see how that reach would affect Mark. but he was able to get inside, work the body a bit. I would have liked to see him just, land an overhand when Panzik's dropping his hands. But, as time goes on, like, he'll be, he's a local legend already, from Philly. And I was able to write a story on him too, some time back. And really good guy, one of my favorite fighters for sure. And then we'll see a jump in competition. If Panzik can be 13-0, I mean, I'm sure he can rattle off. Mark Dawson is obviously on a different level than him, so he'll be able to, rattle off a nice streak.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And then like also that I don't know what the hell Ivan was doing when he had to do that, like if he was like trying to get extra power when he was trying to bang both hands on his trunks. Like it was weird. But yeah, Mark looked great. Mark's young too. Like people don't realize Mark's 23, 24 years old and he's 9-0 right now. So the sky's the limit for him, and Rodney's been around the game, so he's had a lot of people he's trained. He's definitely has a diamond in the rough with Pretty Boy Woo right now. He's also got one with Mark, so he's in good hands. So his next fight, it wouldn't surprise me if it's another club card, but I feel like Mark might be ready for TV now because that was Mark's goal before the end of the year. I've talked to Mark. I've even personally bought boxing tickets off of Mark when media wasn't allowed in, and he's told me every time I talk to him that he wants to be on TV next to fight. Not a stream, but like TV, like as in like PBC or Top Rank. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think there were any upsets on this card, but if you want to do the same thing that we did on the last one, like who would you give performance of the night to? And there were 2 knockouts. Well, one was actually three knockouts. Well, one was questionable. That was a stoppage. But what would be your knockout of the night and your performance of the night?
Knockout of the night would go to Noble. First round knockout, sensational. Fight of the night, or like performance of the night. I mean, Dawson looked great in the main event. I thought Rasheem Brown looked super. He looked, like I said, really sharp. I would say those two for performance of the night. And then there wasn't a ton. I mean, there wasn't really any upsets.
Yeah, there wasn't an upset. I don't feel.
No, I don't feel either. Yeah, Burwell was working his way towards that, So I'll give it to Burwell. You know what? I don't care what Boxer says. I'll give it to Burwell.
Okay. All right. So I'm with you with knockout of the night. Noble, phenomenal.
For sure.
Second round, technical knockout. That was really good. Performance of the night. Even though we got to do one, but I would give it to 2 people. It would be Mark Dawson, of course, winning all 8 rounds. Phenomenal. And I would definitely have to give it to Rasheem Brown. Not because we're hyping it up because he's the next big thing, but I just liked what he did. Pure domination. Didn't show. I still don't see any flaws in his game right now. I don't see anything. Like he kind of reminds me of like Sheem. Sheem Jefferson doesn't have any flaws right now. Boots doesn't have any flaws. So if he could get on their level one day, as prospect wise and all, just moving up the ladder, that's really impressive.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. We look really sharp. And Dawson too. I mean, Dawson looked I thought I had him winning all 8 rounds, and I think he's ready definitely for a bump up for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Danny, this was a lot of fun. We'll definitely do this more often, where we'll do like recaps and stuff, even if it's just watching something on Top Rank or PBC. We could definitely
that's awesome, bro.
Again. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was an honor to meet you and stuff, and it was awesome. Really, really cool to hang out with you this weekend. Just let the viewers know, because you wrote fascinating articles about this whole weekend that I will share on my personal Facebook, but let everybody know where they could find your articles, and also if you wanted to give your personal Instagram, if you wanted people to follow you and all.
Yeah, sure. You could go. My Instagram is just my name, Danny Zaccardi, and PhillyBoxingHistory.com. I'm a writer for the guy who owns it is awesome. He's a local legend, John DeSanto. He's like a Philadelphia boxing historian. So I discovered his website and I write some articles for him from time to time. So you can check those out on PhillyBoxingHistory.com.
Awesome. All right, Danny. Thank you so much again, and
All right, thanks.
I'll let you know when I post this video and all. Okay.
All right, thanks, bro. It was
All right.
awesome.
Thank you, man. Yep. I'll see you.
See ya.